Welcome, my fellow traders. It is Saturday, the 4th of October, 2025, and what you're listening to is my weekly performance summary for this week. And I'm your host, Jason Allen at netwinningtrader.com. Pleasure to be working with you today. What I'm going to do, as I do every Saturday, is do a quick run through of closed trades, open trades I'm holding, and just give you a little bit of background as to how I came to making those conclusions and took that money out of the market or what I'm expecting for the following week. Basically, I want you to be considering yourself looking over my shoulder while I'm doing what I do every week. What I'm hoping to what I'm hoping will become clear for you is that the protocols that we offer at netwinningtrader.com are much more aligned with your overall goals and much more suited to help you get to those goals than most of what you're currently using. I'm of the opinion, you're going to hear me say this a lot, but I'm of the opinion that most traders who ordinarily would make very good money doing this are struggling. And the reason they're struggling is because their focus is in the wrong place as to how the money's made. Now, of course, in a 15, 20-minute broadcast like this every week, I can't really bend all those ears the way I'd like to. So I want to encourage you to consider getting on board with me for my free content, which I offer regularly every week. My podcast, you can sign up for that if you haven't already. And I would like you to consider becoming a lifetime member at netwinningtrader.com, where all the protocols and everything we talk about, all the details are available permanently for you. And I'm adding to that database with information every month, more and more materials for you all the time. It's like a never ending, constantly growing library of information, all designed to put you where you want to be. So, that being said, let's get to work with how we did for the week. And I'm going to start with closed trades, which I typically do. Always start with closed trades. For the week, did a total of 9 closed trades. These are what was left over from last week. I don't know if you remember if you attended last week. We had some nice leads, some real nice leads. And this week, we got some bad beats again, but we still managed to pull some money out of the market. Not a lot, though. For our positions lost, total of 241.5 losses, and winning trades 294.2. So we had a net gain of about 50 points, but this really isn't worth getting out of bed for. As those of you know and have watched regularly, you'll see that it's not uncommon for me to pull out hundreds of points every week, and that's pips every week. So for those of you that are trading foreign currencies, that could be considerable amount of gain on your account. And then when you have poor weeks like this, net, you're still doing better than you would be otherwise. And that's really the benefit that I want to make sure is really clear, is that good weeks are great. And when we have bad weeks, they're really not bad weeks. They're reasonable, get through with the time type of things that keep us in position. So we're able to hopefully earn some nice gains net every month. That's the goal, isn't it? Pull money out every month. All right, so this is what I'm holding for open trades. Pounds short 34.74.6. I'll show you that in a minute. Holding open trade loss at the close. Euro, same thing. We're short. Yen got nothing holding right now, which is a hard break. Canada, I've got the long side on and the short side on from roughly the same point. Very interesting event in Canada this week. So my total open trade equity right now is a loss of about 13.9 pips. In other words, we're basically flat at the close, and we're ready to see where next week takes us. So, with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and start with pounds and show you what happened in pounds. Just a heartbreak. It broke my heart. We were long from last week, as you remember, from the bottom, and holding that position nicely and rolling up our stops as needed. Where the stop was here at about 34.16 against that long position, that was placed just after a reversal signal was active overnight, and the automation got me short right up near the highs for Tokyo. Great. That's the whole point, to be on both sides. You'll notice that there's no signal there on this particular chart. That's because my automation is running on my trading platforms, and those have different open, high, low, close pips and calculate their numbers slightly differently. So it's not uncommon for there to be some sort of signal generated on one chart that doesn't show up on another. And there's also times when it shows up on this chart and it doesn't create in the automation side, so we don't have a position on. So we talk about that too. But anyway, so we had the short position on, long side on. Everything's perfect, nothing to do but wait. The stop is rolled up according to the stop roll protocols whenever the 50 bar is under the 100 and we get a buy signal or a bottom. Then unless we're at this point here where 50 is over the 100, the stop is rolled more aggressively, and that's to protect it in case something goes wrong. So we had the short side on, long side on, and we had our stop rolled up a little more aggressively, and we got pinged, as you can see right here. It got taken out on my price. That's just a bad beat. You know what I mean? We just got hit on my number, and the market continued to advance all the way through Thursday. And when we had Thursday's action, you'll notice that we crossed through our developing uptrend line. When that happens, my re-long entry at 34.71, as you can see, that number right there was based on a breach of this stop here. See how we had this stop from the short side took us out on my number, right? Again, just a bad beat, but the right thing to do. Buy signals come on, market crosses into a new high, that's your lowest risk buy. And as you can see, that's what happened. That's a case right here. We call that buy high, sell higher. But in any case, it was working nicely until we crossed the trend line and violated the trend line by closing below all the averages and nicely below that trend line. So this was a legitimate, kill me, I'm dead. So net, we're basically flat for the week in pounds because we missed holding it for the big pull, and getting repositioned on both sides just didn't work. So we're holding our short right here. And again, this is the same reason we're short now. These buy signals are not valid because we broke the trend line. So what we're in right now is a topping market, hopefully. And my sell is 34.70 area once again, or 34.70 area once again. In this case, 73. So you can see here's where our stop was for a short, re-entry for a long, now another short. So this area here, 34.70, at least for my method at least, is looking to be an important level. We'll see what happens next week. With pounds, pretty clear. With euro, even more so. Long last week at the lows for Friday, remember? Holding that nicely into the week. Rolling the stop along where it's supposed to be according to the protocol, adding to it on the next round of buy signals coming on right around 117.35 to 48 area. I took 48. It just happened to be this buy signal right here. And then we violated, got below all the averages and below our trend line, and that was that. So this was a legitimate beat. So even though we were stopped out with a small net gain, more money made than given back on the ad, still wasn't a real big winner. Our short position now, because what do we want to be short for? Well, there's a signal coming on right there as the market moves from long position by being uptrend into it's outside that trend now and moving flat. It looks to me like we're ready to see a range within a range. You'll notice this range right here. There's a bottom area right here and a top area right there. Oh, you know what? And I say that right here, and I keep forgetting that maybe you don't see that real well. So Here's what I mean. This right here, that is our bottom area of the range. Here's the top area of the range. Here we are near the bottom of the range, broken through the bottom of the range with a test, back into the range. This is all classic textbook topping market. So we'll see how that goes. Japanese yen. This was a textbook trade all the way through getting taken out. We were short from last week at the highs. As the market came down, we got buy signals at right here as the market made a test of the former resistance area. We would expect that to be support. So we would be long from there. And that didn't work, taken out with a small loss. Down, he kept short, stayed short. Another buy signal right here. Went long, didn't work. Still short, holding the shorts all the way down to the next level of support. And then as the market bounced up to our trend line, our moving averages that are in the sell mode, there was a sell signal active. So we added to the short from up here at 47.35. This is 49.40, I think, 49.80. And then put our together stop, both trade stop, at 47.75, which was the last failure number. The market should stall before then if it's under downtrend. And of course, hit by, I think, 3 pips in this case. So another bad beat. Otherwise, would be short with a 2 lot as the market continues to move lower. If this is indeed a turn in trend, we'll know. This 50 bar moving average right here turning this way on a Friday, that's a sign that maybe the short's no good anymore. But up from from last week's high print all the way through until Thursday afternoon, Friday morning, this was an absolute textbook short sale position with a perfect place to add right there. Just a little bit of a bad beat. It happens. So I think in the last 3 weeks I've had like 7 of them. So we easily be another 800 or 900 points to the good, but you know, it is what it is. All right, let's have a look at Canada real quick. And Canada, we're done for the week. All right, so we're long coming into the week, added to it right here, and then got taken out right here. So scratch on my add. However, the long from underneath was still good to go. So we took a little bit out. And then up here, we had a short sale, and I didn't have the long on. So as we headed into the close, I'm like, you know, we are short from a high print, but we haven't violated this uptrend yet, and I may have been taken out just on a bad beat here. You know, I mean, it looks that way to me. It was right on trend. Maybe we should be protected over the weekend with the long side in case it gaps and runs. So that's what I did. Now what we have here is we have a short position on roughly from the highs. We have a long position on underneath it. If the market goes someplace right away early in the week, then one side or the other will be stopped out. But if it grinds sideways to higher, sideways to lower, it might need another week or even longer to decide what it wants to do. Then it would be creating a range top. So I'm fine with having a position on like this, because when it finally goes, one side or the other is going to go. And that happens regularly with the price agnostic method of trading. So I wouldn't be too concerned about having the long and the short on close together like this. I would rather they be at opposite ends of the market so we have some breathing room. But sometimes the best laid plans of mice and men just work beautifully. And I'm thinking maybe that'll be the case for this week. I would love to see Canada gap and run in the long direction if the truth were told. Because last couple of times it's done that, it's moved, 10 handles in 2 weeks, you know, so I mean, it's possible that we're setting up for that, but I don't know. The whole tariffs thing has produced a whole lot of money into the U.S. coffers, so much so that our president is considering sending out rebate checks maybe if you're a taxpayer and you paid taxes last year and you filed your 1040, then you might get a check from the Treasury as a rebate for all the money that was coming in. In other words, we cut a lot of expenses as a country and raised a lot of revenue to offset the losses we've been having in our trade balance. That money might come back into your pocket. Well, our biggest trading partner is Canada. So if that were to happen, the U.S. dollar, I think, would that would be the kind of thing that triggers a boom in the value of the dollar against Canada. That would be the thing that says, "Oh, wow, we've got a long way to go, plenty of money coming in, and the Canadians are going to end up having to pay a little bit more for that." So that would be money coming into the U.S. from Canada at a higher rate than normal. So I think that would be considered very bullish. So maybe that's what's setting up right now. If that's the case, then maybe we'll see that next week. Again, that's just my theory, speculation. I don't purport to be an expert in Canadian-U.S. relations and economic pressure. All I know is that given the right conditions, when a market starts running, if you're on the right side, there's nothing to do but wait. Don't do anything. Just sit and hold it. So hopefully that'll be the case with us in Canada. So that being said, guys, I think we're good to go for today. I'm going to go ahead and say thank you for coming. I appreciate you taking a little extra time over the weekend to have a look at what I do and how I do it and how well I do it. I'm going to be posting my performance every Saturday. And if you're one of those traders out there who considers yourself a serious trader looking for better tools, I really think I've got something for you to consider at netwinningtrader.com. So consider me a friend in the business. Also, I'm available every day. I'm a real guy trading out of my home here in South Florida. So you're welcome to get online through all my other sources if you like, and say hello or email me or get online with one of my online forums. And if that's the case, we'd be able to spend a little bit more time together. That might be very helpful for both of us because I love learning what clients find valuable over my content, and of course, getting rid of the stuff that doesn't really help them. And of course, if I can help assist you reach your trading goals, that's always good news. So I'm going to let you do your thing, and I will see you next week. Don't forget, on Monday, the 6th, I'll be posting my regular daily Traders Daily Discipline, Monday through Friday. That's free, my podcast. So I hope you're subscribing to that too. In the meantime, between now and then, have a great rest of the weekend, and I'll see you Monday. Thanks.